Heartwarming twist, single dad's room for a crying girl reveals her incredible millionaire legacy. The storm was brewing, loud and chaotic, fitting for the emotions that surged in the small, yet cozy home of Jake and his bright-eyed daughter, Mia. Rain drummed against the windows, and thunder rumbled like an angry beast hunting through the skies. Inside, however, their home was a sanctuary filled with laughter, love, and the unmistakable scent of Jake's famous chili bubbling on the stove. But on this particular drizzly afternoon, a different kind of noise shattered their bubble, a faint, trembling sob just outside their front door. Mia, only 10 but fiercely protective and caring, rushed over. She found Lucy, her classmate, sitting cross-legged on the porch, tears streaming down her cheeks like the heavy rain around her. "Lucy. What happened?" Mia knelt, wrapping an arm around her friend. Maybe it was the way the world seemed dreary and heavy that day, but seeing Lucy there, a crumbling flower against the storm, stirred something powerful inside Mia. They were saying mean things again," Lucy sniffled, "about my family and how we don't have much." The honesty cut through the air, chilling Mia's heart. But she didn't let fear take over. Instead, she pulled Lucy close, whispering, "You're not alone." Jake emerged from the kitchen, wiping his hands on a towel. He had taken long hours at the auto shop to keep food on the table, but nothing prepared him for the sight of his daughter comforting another child rendered helpless by bullying. It struck a chord deep in his heart. "Hey, Lucy, how about you come in and join us for chili?" he offered, his voice steady. As Lucy stepped inside, Jake felt hopeful. Her shivering eased, replaced by a flicker of something like comfort. They settled at the table, sharing giggles and the warmth of good food, until the sky darkened even more, deepening the shadows in the room. "They say my grandpa was a hero, but we're just struggling to make ends meet," Lucy whispered one evening, the conversation shifting as the girls played cards. "He left us something, a fortune, but it's hidden. We need money now, not later." A silence fell, sparking curiosity and concern alike. A family secret that could be life-changing loomed over them, but just as bonds began to forge, a school bully reared his ugly head, taunting Lucy about her situation. It was an echo of the world's indifference that Mia felt in her own heart. "They don't know us," she said defiantly, staring into Lucy's tear-filled eyes, feeding her stubbornness to stand against injustice. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. Things took a daunting turn when crucial paperwork about Lucy's inheritance vanished, like shadows in the dim light of their challenges. Jake's protective instincts flared, and together with Mia, they formed an alliance with Lucy, determined to uncover the truth behind her legacy. Yet, tension and fear hung thick in the air as whispers of doubt threatened their fragile faith. As heartbeats quickened and fights loomed closer, Jake stood firm, embodying the kind of father a child could be proud to have. Every moment felt like they were walking a tightrope, a precarious balance of hope, love, and the desperate need for justice. But would they find the treasure that could unite their stories, or was the weight of society's judgment destined to keep them apart forever? The next day dawned bright and clear after the storm. The world outside felt fresh, washed away like the troubles that had plagued Lucy's heart. But inside Jake's house, clouds of uncertainty still lingered. Mia woke up to find Lucy sitting at the kitchen table, her small hands wrapped around a mug of hot cocoa. The warmth of the drink couldn't reach the chill of worry that clung to Lucy. "Did you sleep okay?" Mia asked, concerned. "Not really." Lucy's voice wavered as she stared into the steaming mug. "I keep thinking about my grandpa and that fortune. What if we can't find it?" Jake sat down with them, a plate of warm pancakes in front of him. He sensed the heaviness in Lucy's heart. "It's okay to feel scared, Lucy. We'll figure it out together." But we need a plan. A spark flickered in Mia's eyes. What if we look through your grandpa's things? Maybe there's a clue somewhere. Lucy's gaze darted up, a glimmer of hope breaking through the haze. You really think so? Absolutely. Mia leaned in, her excitement infectious. Every treasure hunter starts with a map, and we need to dig deep into those memories. Jake smiled, admiration washing over him for the girl's determination. Okay, how about we head over to your grandpa's house after breakfast? I can help you with whatever we find there. Breakfast finished, the trio embarked on their little adventure, the morning sun kissing their cheeks as they stepped outside. The road to Lucy's house seemed shorter, lighter somehow, as if the weight of their hopes propelled them forward. When they arrived, the atmosphere shifted. Lucy's old home stood tall yet, it felt like it had aged painfully since her grandfather's passing. With her heart pounding, she pushed the door open. Dust motes danced in the beams of sunlight breaking through the windows, illuminating the fragments of her past. She could almost hear laughter echoing within its walls, memories of a time before that cruel darkness had settled in her life. Let us start in the living room, Mia suggested, her voice barely above a whisper, as if they were stepping into a sacred space. They began sorting through boxes filled with relics of yesteryears. Lucy's fingers brushed over old photo albums, each picture telling a story her grandpa with a beaming smile, moments of joy frozen in time. But, among the cherished memories, the shadow of uncertainty loomed larger. Hours passed, filled with rustling paper and excited gasps at every find, but no signs of the fortune. Frustration began to bubble just below the surface. What if it was all just a dream? Lucy frowned, her spirit deflating like a balloon losing air. No. Mia said firmly, her small fists clenched. We know it's real. We just have to keep looking. Jake watched the girls with mixed emotions. His heart ached for Lucy, but he felt a swell of pride at Mia's fervor. Let's take a break, he suggested gently, sensing the weight of the search. Maybe if we step back, the answer will come to us. Lucy nodded but didn't move away from the box in front of her. She picked up an old envelope, yellowed with age. Something about it felt significant. Wait, what's this? As she carefully opened it, a shimmering gold key slipped out, clattering against the wooden floor. They all stared at it, shock painting their faces. What does it open? Mia asked, her voice barely a breath. Lucy shrugged, both excitement and fear in her eyes. We have to find out, Jake said, his expression encouraging. The sight of the key sparked renewed determination, but as their hearts raced with possibility, the lingering question haunted the air: what secrets lay beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered? Lucy held the key in her palm, its cool metal heavy with possibility. As the afternoon sun filtered through the dusty windows, she felt a mix of thrill and fear wash over her. What did the key mean? What door had her grandfather left unopened? Let's look around, Jake said, breaking the tension. There must be somewhere this key fits. With newfound energy, the trio forged deeper into the house. They checked cabinets, under cushions, and behind pictures. Each creak of the old wood felt like a sacred whisper, urging them to uncover the truth. Lucy's heart raced, synchronized with the tempo of her hopes. Over here. Mia called suddenly, her voice echoing slightly in the hushed space. She had found an old wooden trunk nestled in a dark corner of the attic. Dust coated it like a protective shroud, but Lucy could see it was adorned with intricate carvings, perhaps made by her grandpa's own hands. I've never seen this before, Lucy whispered, awe etched across her features. Do you think the key could open it? Only one way to find out. Mia grinned, her excitement bubbling over. Jake knelt beside them, carefully inspecting the lock. It's worth a try, Lucy. This could be what we're looking for. With shaking hands, Lucy slid the key into the lock. It fit perfectly, and when she turned it, a soft click resonated in the attic. Collectively holding their breath, they lifted the heavy lid. Inside, Old papers, yellowed documents, and trinkets adorned the space. Lucy felt her heart sink momentarily. What if it was just a dusty old box? But as she sifted through the items, a glint caught her eye. "Look!" she exclaimed, pulling out a framed photograph. It was of her grandfather standing beside a large, ornate structure that looked like a bank. Beneath it, a faded caption read, "My Legacy." Mia leaned closer, squinting. What exactly does that mean? His legacy? Lucy flipped the photograph over, discovering rows of writing on the back. As she read aloud, her voice grew louder with each line. Bank account established for Lucy, immense fortune accumulated through hard work. The words blurred as emotions swelled within her. "Oh my gosh," Lucy breathed. The weight of her grandfather's love, not just memories but an actual gift, pressed upon her heart. Jake smiled, his eyes shining with encouragement. "Lucy, this is it. Your grandpa wanted you to know about all this. You're not alone in this world, and he believed in you." But just as tears began to fall, a thought struck her. Wait. How can I accept this? I don't even know how to manage it. Mia squeezed Lucy's hand, her expression serious yet warm. You have us. And we'll figure it out together. Surrounded by relics of the past, Lucy felt for the first time that there was a path ahead, not just of treasure but of honor and legacy. She wasn't just searching for a fortune but for a connection to her grandpa and a purpose in carrying on his memory. But then, something shifted in the attic's air. A draft whispered through with a quiet urgency. They turned around as the wooden door creaked open slowly, revealing a shadowy figure at the threshold. Who are you? Lucy's heart pounded as she took an instinctive step back. The figure stepped into the light, a smirk dancing on his lips. I've been wondering when you'd find that. Lucy's heart raced, and she could feel the chill of anxiety creeping back in. What had she unearthed, and who was this stranger? All she knew was that everything was about to change. Lucy's mind spun at the sight of the stranger, her breath shallow. What do you mean? She managed to ask, her voice trembling slightly. The figure stepped closer, revealing a face that was both familiar and unsettling. It almost felt like looking at a reflection from some distant past. I'm your uncle, Lucas, he said, the smirk fading into an unreadable expression. Your grandfather and I, well, we had our differences. Jake and Mia exchanged glances, assessing the newcomer with guarded curiosity. What do you want? Mia asked, stepping protectively in front of Lucy, as if to shield her from any potential threat. Lucas chuckled softly, a sound devoid of mirth. I'm not here to cause trouble. Quite the opposite, actually. I came to help you understand what that legacy means. Lucy felt her palms dampening. Help? Why would you help me after all this time? You didn't even come to his funeral. Because I didn't know, Lucas said, genuine remorse creeping into his tone. Family can be complicated, and I lost my way. But I want to make it right now. There's more to your grandfather's legacy than you realize. And I think it might be time for the truth to come out. Truth? Lucy echoed, her heart racing even faster. What truth? You just showed up out of the blue. He held up his hands, placating her anger. I know it's sudden. But trust me, it's important. The fortune isn't just wealth. It's a responsibility. Your grandfather had plans, visions he wanted you to carry on. Lucy took a step forward, the weight of the photograph still heavy in her hands. So, you think it's that simple? Just hand me everything he had? What if I'm not ready for that? Ready or not, it's your inheritance, Lucas replied, his eyes serious. You deserve to know everything. About the family, the bank, and the secrets that come with it. Mia squeezed Lucy's arm, a silent show of support, while Jake stood silently, processing everything. But you can't just waltz in here and expect us to believe you, Jake interjected, his protectiveness flaring. What is your plan? What do you really know about her grandfather? More than you think, Lucas said, his tone shifting slightly. Your grandfather believed in legacy, in passing on not just riches, but wisdom. He wanted to ensure Lucy would be taken care of because he knew struggles could come. Struggles? Lucy felt the knot in her stomach twist. What would you know about my struggles? You don't know anything. I know that if you don't want this whole legacy, it might fall to someone else. Like me, Lucas said, his voice lowering, a hint of warning laced in his words. And I may not have the best intentions. Lucy's heart dropped. You would do that? Isn't that what family does? He replied with a crooked smile that suggested layers of hidden meanings. The attic felt small and suffocating, the air thick with unspoken histories and the weight of decisions hanging in the balance. Lucy's mind raced. She had entered this place seeking connection, dreaming of her grandfather's love, and now she was faced with a dark twist in the story. Should we trust you? Lucy asked hesitantly, her heart torn between the possibility of reconciliation and the fear of betrayal. Lucas nodded slowly, sincerity creeping back into his expression. You should, Lucy. The choice is yours, but I can show you the way if you let me in. She looked into his eyes, searching for the truth, while the shadows in the attic seemed to deepen around them. An overwhelming challenge loomed before her, a chance to navigate a legacy entwined with secrets and power, but also the risk of opening old wounds. Do I really have a choice? The question lingered in the attic, heavy with uncertainty, drawing them all closer to the precipice of the unknown. What would she uncover if she chose to accept his help? And what darkness had her grandfather hidden beneath the surface? Lucy felt her heart pounding in her chest, a mix of fear and excitement swirling within her. She glanced at Mia, who looked just as uncertain. Jake, always the voice of reason, stood firm with a protective stance, eyebrows knitted together. Let us be honest here, Jake said, his tone serious. We hardly know you, and you just dropped this bomb on us. What makes you think we should trust you with anything? Lucas took a deep breath, the moment hanging heavy in the air. I get it. I didn't show up as the model relative. But your grandfather, he had a vision that went beyond money. He left behind a legacy involving not just wealth, but choices. Choices designed to allow his family to thrive, even in hard times. Lucy felt the weight of his words. Her grandfather had always promised her that family was everything, that loyalty and love would guide them through darkness. But what if Lucas was the darkness? What do you want from me? She asked, squaring her shoulders. What if I say yes? What does that mean? It means diving into the mess, Lucas replied quietly, a flicker of honesty in his eyes. There are old agreements, partnerships tied to your grandfather's name that have implications for you. It won't be easy. But you need to understand that ignoring it won't make it disappear. Mia stepped forward, her eyes narrowing. If it's so complicated, why should we trust your guidance? What do you gain from this? Lucas sighed, looking around the attic. More than anything, I want honesty with my family. I know I messed up with your grandfather, but I want to make it right with you. If I can help you manage this, I'll feel redeemed. Lucy felt a surge of anger. So, this entire conversation is about you feeling redeemed? My life is not a checklist item for you, Lucas. I'm not asking for a free pass, he said, exasperation creeping into his voice. I'm suggesting you get to know the truth of your family. There's a hidden world that can change how you see everything, the family business, how it's tied to the past, and the choices that matter for your future. His words hung in the air, and Lucy's breath caught in her throat. What if this was more than just money? What if it was about who she was meant to be? Okay, Lucy said finally, her voice steady now. If I agree to let you help me, what does that look like? What do we do next? Lucas smiled for the first time, a glimmer of hope sparking in his eyes. First, we need to gather information about the estate and any documents your grandfather left behind. He wrote everything down, I assure you. And there are people who worked closely with him who can give us clarity. Sounds like a start, Jake interjected, still cautious but slightly easing his guard. Mia nodded, leaning closer to Lucy. I'll be with you every step of the way. Whatever you decide. We're a team, right? For the first time, Lucy felt a flicker of excitement. She wasn't alone in this chaos. She had Jake and Mia, and maybe just maybe she could find a way to navigate the complex web her grandfather had woven. All right, then. Let us do this, Lucy said, determination settling in her bones. She took a deep breath, ready to challenge whatever lay ahead, but deep inside, a question lingered: what would she find when she peeled back the layers of family secrets? And how much would it change her perception of the grandfather she once idolized? As they began to plan their next steps, the attic felt a little less suffocating and a bit more hopeful. One thing was certain, there was no way back. Lucy was ready to face whatever the truth might hold. What lay hidden in those documents would either bind them closer as family or break them apart forever. Would they discover a path to redemption, or would they uncover buried sins that would change everything they thought they knew? The next morning, the sun filtered into Lucy's bedroom, casting soft shadows across the floor. She rolled over and stared at the ceiling, her mind still buzzing from the previous day's revelations. Today marked the beginning of a journey, one that could reshape her understanding of family and legacy. As the excitement simmered in her chest, Lucy's phone buzzed beside her. It was a message from Mia, ready to dive in. Let us meet at the diner at noon. I'll bring some coffee. She smiled, the thought of finally taking a step toward the unknown making her heart race. This wasn't just about documents, it was about uncovering who she truly was. Grabbing her clothes, she dressed quickly, a sense of purpose driving her movements. When she arrived at the diner, the smell of freshly brewed coffee and sizzling bacon enveloped her. Mia sat at a booth near the window, fiddling with her phone, her brows knitted with concentration. Jake arrived moments later, looking slightly more relaxed than the day before, but the uncertainty in his eyes lingered. Hey, Lucy greeted them, sliding into the booth. Hey. Did you sleep at all? Mia teased, a sparkle of encouragement in her gaze. Not much. Too much swirling in my head, Lucy admitted. But I'm ready for whatever this brings. A waiter approached, took their orders, and disappeared. Lucy's heart pounded again, not with fear, but with anticipation. She had Jake and Mia by her side, reminding her that she wasn't alone in this. So, where do we start? Jake asked, sipping his black coffee. Lucas mentioned some documents and people who could give us insights. I think tracking down those documents is the best first step. Lucy replied, her voice stronger now. I want to see what my grandfather left us. What about Lucas? Mia asked, her tone cautious. Do you really want him involved? I don't know, Lucy sighed, glancing out the window where people hurried by. Part of me thinks he has his own agenda, but maybe he's right. Maybe if we know the whole story, it'll help us understand him, too. The waiter returned with their food, and for a moment, they were lost in the comfort of warm plates and fresh pastries. This was their moment of peace before diving deep into family secrets that might shake their foundations. But as they ate, an uneasy silence fell, thickening the air. What if we uncover something bad? Jake asked finally. What if there are real skeletons in the closet? Lucy felt the weight of his words, a shiver racing down her spine. Then we deal with it. Together. Mia nodded, determination etching her features. Whatever it is, we have each other's backs, right? Always, Lucy affirmed, her voice steady with conviction. Finishing their meal, they gathered their things and stepped out into the bright day. As they walked to the library, a sudden chill crept into the air, causing Lucy to wrap her arms around herself. She hadn't considered the emotional toll this journey might take. What if they uncovered familial betrayal? Or, worse, secrets that would change how she saw everyone she loved? Inside the local library, they sought out the section where old newspapers and records were kept. Lucy felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. Every paper felt like a doorway into a past she had never known. After scouring through dates and facts, Lucy's heart raced when she stumbled upon an article detailing a mysterious partnership. Her grandfather was involved in a company that sounded eerily similar to one that had caused scandalous headlines decades ago. "Look at this," she said, sliding the article across the table to Jake and Mia. "What does this mean?" As her friends read the article, the silence grew heavy with implications. Was her grandfather involved in something dangerous? Something shameful? What if this leads to more questions than answers? Mia whispered, worry etched on her face. Lucy's pulse quickened, thoughts racing. She could feel the ground shifting beneath her, a mix of dread and curiosity clawing at her gut. "We're going to find out," Lucy said firmly, though uncertainty flickered in her heart. "We need to dig deeper." As they continued their search, she couldn't shake the feeling that each layer revealed something about not only her grandfather, but about herself as well. What was her own legacy shaping up to be? With the article still fresh in their minds, one question echoed louder than the others: what truths lay waiting to be discovered, waiting to test their bonds? The dimly lit library corner felt suddenly ominous, like a stage set for a tragedy. Lucy watched Jake and Mia as they pored over the article. The words blurred as worry seeped through her, taking root in her mind. What if this partnership her grandfather was involved in didn't just hint at scandal? What if it hinted at something darker? She took a deep breath, trying to shake off the unease. "Let us look at the rest of the documents," she urged, already pushing herself back into the search. There must be more clues about this partnership, more context. They sifted through folder after folder. Each document felt like a puzzle piece, illuminating shadows from the past. But with every revelation that surfaced, the weight of the unknown pressed heavier on Lucy's shoulders. Hours passed. The library was now nearly empty, the sun dipping low in the sky, casting a warm orange glow through the windows. It was beautiful, but it felt surreal. Lucy stood up, her legs stiff from hours of sitting. "I need a break," she announced, rubbing her temples. Mia nodded, her own eyes weary. "Maybe we should grab some fresh air." Jake looked up from his stack of papers, a flicker of concern crossing his face. "Are you okay?" "Yeah," Lucy said quickly, but she knew it wasn't true. Anxiety twisted in her chest like a vice. "Just, give me a minute." Outside, the cool air hit her like a wave. She wrapped her arms around herself, trying to ground her racing thoughts. The sunset painted the sky with pinks and purples. She focused on the beauty, but her mind kept wandering back to the mystery they were navigating. Each unanswered question gnawed at her, wrapping itself around her heart. "Lucy!" Mia's voice called from inside. She turned to see her friend rushing toward her, holding a folder like a treasure. "What did you find?" Lucy asked, her pulse quickening. "More articles," Mia replied, breathless. "This time, they're about another character from that partnership. A woman named Clara. I think she was involved as well, and it looks like she was close to your grandfather." Lucy felt a jolt. "Close? Like, personally close," Mia said, her eyes wide. "There are letters, photos, they were part of something together. Something big." "Show me," Lucy urged, fear and intrigue swirling within her. They slipped back inside, and Mia spread the documents across the table. Old photographs revealed smiling faces, Clara standing close to her grandfather. They looked happy, as if they shared a secret. But beneath the joy, a foreboding feeling crept back in. "Okay, but why does this matter? What was their connection?" Jake asked, scanning the materials. Lucy's heart raced as she read an old newspaper clipping announcing an engagement between Clara and another man. It felt like a punch. She was engaged. But why is she with my grandfather? You think she was just a friend? Jake asked. The questions hung in the air, thickening the silence around them. Lucy could feel a wall closing, and this wasn't just about her grandfather anymore. It was about generations of love, betrayal, and unanswered questions. What if the partnership, what if it caused pain? What if Clara was a part of some scandal? Lucy whispered, the fear tightening in her throat. Then we need to uncover the truth, Mia said, her voice steady and firm. We can't shy away now. Determination sparked within Lucy. Let us keep digging. Together. As they pressed on into the depths of their search, Lucy felt an unexpected flicker of hope amidst the swirling chaos. But as they turned to a new folder, something unexpected slipped out: a letter, brittle with age, marked with her grandfather's initial scrawl. What is this? Lucy asked, holding the fragile paper. Her friends leaned closer, their breath catching as she began to read the opening line, "My dearest Clara." Lucy's heart raced. This was it, possibly the key to everything. But just as she started to decipher the words, a figure stepped into her peripheral vision, looming just outside the library entrance. Lucy. I think we need to talk, said a familiar voice, sending a cold shiver down her spine. It was Lucas. Lucy froze, gripping the letter tighter in her hands. Lucas stood there, his expression a mix of concern and urgency. She felt a wave of conflicting emotions rush over her. This was not how she envisioned their reunion, standing in a library filled with secrets that could shatter everything she thought she knew about her family. Now. You want to talk now? Mia whispered, casting a glance between Lucy and Lucas. The tension could have been cut with a knife. Yeah, Lucy, it's important, Lucas insisted, his voice low but firm. Can we step outside? There was something in his eyes: fear. Regret? She couldn't tell. But the last thing she wanted was to step away from the unfolding mystery inside, a mystery that could hold the answers she desperately sought. I can't, Lucy protested, glancing back at Mia and Jake, who were watching the exchange with apprehension. Not now. We're in the middle of something. We're in the middle of something that might get bigger, Lucas said urgently, taking a step closer. Please, just 5 minutes. Against her better judgment, Lucy nodded slowly. Part of her was curious about what Lucas had to say, and another part was scared he'd force her to confront feelings she wasn't ready for. They walked outside together, the fading light casting long shadows. The cool breeze felt refreshing, unlike the heaviness that began to settle as they stood facing each other, both hesitant. What is going on? Lucy asked, trying to keep her voice steady. We need to talk about Clara, he said, and Lucy felt her heart skitter. Clara? The name echoed in her head like a warning. What do you know about her? She demanded, folding her arms defensively. Lucas paused, choosing his words carefully. I didn't want to say anything before. I was worried how much it would affect you. But I think she is important to both of us. What do you mean? How could she possibly be important to you? Lucy felt anger bubbling up, mixed with an unsettling curiosity. I found something. Lucas hesitated, stepping closer as if to shield their conversation from interrogating ears. When you guys were searching today, I was doing some digging of my own. I thought it was just going to be about your grandfather and the company he kept. I didn't expect to find Clara connected to my family. Her breath hitched. Your family? How? There's a twist to the legacy we both come from. Clara was, well, let us just say she was involved in a lot more than we realized. Things that could shake up both of our worlds. A cascade of questions collided in her mind. How could Clara intertwine their families? What could this mean? Why are you telling me this now? Because it's too important to ignore. Clara's story isn't just about the past. It's connected to us, Lucy, whether we like it or not. He stepped back, giving her space to comprehend. You deserve to know the truth. As panic washed over her, Lucy felt weight settle on her chest again. Was it really true that the past could shape who they were today? The startling revelation swam in her mind, each piece unlocking new fears and new possibilities. She glanced back at the library entrance where her friends waited. And if I turn away? What if I don't want to dig any deeper? Lucas hesitated, then said softly, then the answers will remain hidden. But so will your grandfather's love for Clara, and everything they tried to protect. Her heart raced, the gravity of his words settling in like a storm cloud overhead. Could ignoring the truth really mean sacrificing what was left of her family? Think about it, Lucas said as he turned. I'll be around if you want to talk. Just don't let the past define what you choose next. As he walked away, Lucy returned, feeling heavy yet invigorated. She reached for the letter, her mind racing. What was this twist that could change everything for them both? The truth beckoned her closer, and she could no longer deny it. As she and her friends gathered by the papers again, the swirling mystery more tangible than ever, another question loomed: was she ready to confront the echoes of a past that could rewrite their futures? The sunlight dipped below the horizon, casting a wash of orange and pink across the sky. Lucy stood by the old library's massive wooden doors, struggling to catch her breath. Lucas's revelation about Clara stirred deep currents of doubt and excitement within her. How could someone so entwined with her grandfather's past be connected to Lucas? Lucy? You okay? Mia's voice broke through the haze of her thoughts. She and Jake leaned against the stone wall, concern etched on their faces. Taking a shaky breath, Lucy turned toward them, forcing a smile. Yeah, just processing. Mia stepped closer, her brow furrowed. What was that about? You can tell us, you know. Lucy opened her mouth, but the words wouldn't come. Instead, she pulled the letter from her pocket and held it out. It's about Clara, she finally managed. Jake's eyes widened as he looked from the letter to Lucy. And? What does it say? She glanced at the library entrance, unsure if she wanted to draw her friends into the whirlpool of confusion that's swirling inside her. I'm not sure yet. But Lucas found something. Clara, she's connected to both of us. I think there's more to her story than we know. Mia reached for her arm, offering a reassuring squeeze. This is huge, Lucy. You have to figure this out. It could change everything. Or it could ruin everything, Lucy muttered, her defenses rising again. What if it's something better left buried? But what if it's not? Jake chimed in. What if it leads to answers about your family? Maybe even about your grandfather's past. The idea of unlocking her family's secrets was tempting. Yet, it also felt like stepping toward an abyss she wasn't sure she could handle. What if I'm not ready? What if I find something I don't want to see? Then at least you would know, Mia urged gently. We can face it together. You won't be alone. Lucy felt a flicker of hope ignite, but anxiety followed closely. With a determined nod, she tucked the letter away again. Okay, I'll read it. Just give me a minute. As her friends respected her space, she sank down onto the cool stone steps outside the library, the remnants of the day swirling like leaves caught in a gentle breeze. The letter felt heavy in her pocket, a burden she still wasn't sure she was ready to bear. Can we at least have a little fun tonight? Mia's voice broke through the weight of the moment. We've been cooped up on this mystery. Let us celebrate being together. Jake nodded enthusiastically. We can order pizza, grab some drinks. Just step away from all this for a bit, Lucy. Their optimism was infectious, and as Lucy looked at them, she realized how lucky she was to have such friends, ones who anchored her in the storm. Maybe she didn't have to dive into the deep end right away. Okay, Lucy said, forcing a smile. Let us do it. As they headed toward the main street, laughter began to lighten her heart. But even as she enjoyed their company, the thought of Clara lingered in the back of her mind. What truths were waiting to be uncovered? Just as they reached the pizza place, Lucy's phone buzzed in her pocket. It was a message from Lucas. Are you considering it? Please talk to me. The next step is crucial. Her heart raced. The choice between her friends and the pull of the truth loomed over her like an open invitation to the unknown. What's wrong? Mia asked, noticing her sudden stillness. As she stared at the screen, the ride of emotions threatened to send her spiraling again. Nothing. Just a thought. The truth felt like a wave crashing against her shore. She was at a crossroads. Did she dive back into the shadows of the past, or did she stand firm in the light of friendship? As they entered the restaurant, Lucy felt that familiar pulse in her veins. Something was nearing, a hidden connection waiting to be chased. What would her next choice reveal? And as a strange sense of foreboding settled in, she wondered just how deep the rabbit hole of Clara's legacy would go. The next morning, sunlight poured into Lucy's room like golden ribbons, but not even the warmth could lift the weight on her heart. The letter from her grandfather was crumpled tightly in her hand, and her mind buzzed with unanswered questions. Clara's connection to her family, the shadows of the past, it all felt so overwhelming. Yet, she knew she couldn't put this off any longer. After breakfast, Lucy made her way to the diner where she and Mia had planned to meet. Inside, the comforting hum of cheerful chatter enveloped her like a warm hug. But Lucy's thoughts were elsewhere. She needed to face her legacy, no matter how daunting it felt. Mia was already seated, tapping away on her phone. She glanced up as Lucy approached, her eyes lighting with encouragement. "Hey! Brought your A game today?" Lucy managed a small smile. "I think I need it." As they settled in with steaming mugs of coffee, Jake joined them, sliding into the booth with a grin. "Ready for the next step?" "I think so," Lucy replied, biting her lip. "But I need to share something first." She pulled out the letter, unfolding it carefully. "It's about Clara. There's more to her story than I thought." Mia leaned forward, her curiosity piqued. "What does it say?" Lucy took a deep breath and began reading aloud. The words flowed, revealing her grandfather's admiration for Clara and dreams that intertwined their lives. She sensed his love for her, a deep connection filled with hopes and promises, until her voice faltered, stumbling upon a passage that spoke of choices yet to come, decisions that would ripple through the generations. "He was trying to prepare me for something," she said softly. Jake glanced at her, concern mixing with intrigue. "What do you think he meant?" As Lucy furrowed her brow in contemplation, a realization began to crystallize. Clara had been more than just a love interest, she was tied to decisions past that could shape her present. What if this legacy isn't just a burden? Mia chimed in. What if it's an opportunity to redefine what family means to you? Lucy nodded, empowerment washing over her. The thought was exhilarating, the chance to unveil connections, not just secrets but a family tapestry woven through time and struggle. "Let us reach out to Lucas," Jake suggested, his voice steady. "If Clara was significant, he might have insights too. Maybe he's not the enemy we thought." The idea terrified her, but also filled Lucy with a sense of determination. Clara had been a voice in her family's past, silent yet powerful. If Lucy were to honor her memory, she needed to confront whatever lay ahead, with or without Lucas. "Can we also dig into my grandfather's business?" Lucy asked, excitement sparking within. If Clara's connection was that deep, we might uncover more about the legacy he wanted me to carry. Mia's smile grew wider. "Yes. This is a team effort. We do it together." With a newfound sense of purpose, they wrapped up their meeting, planning their next steps. The sun hung high in the sky as they stepped outside, feeling lighter, like the weight of uncertainty had shifted. "Are you ready?" Jake asked, looking at Lucy with sincerity. "More than ever," she replied, heart pounding. Each step they took towards the library felt like a leap into the unknown, but this time, she was afraid of what she would find. As they walked through the library doors, the world outside faded, replaced by walls filled with stories past. Lucy's heart raced with anticipation as they dove into the research, sifting through files and documents with purpose and determination. time slipped away, the sun dipped low in the sky again, casting sharp shadows across the table. With Mia and Jake beside her, Lucy turned each page, fueled by curiosity. They unearthed more hints about Clara's past, documents linking her to the company that had changed their family's fate. What if this changes how you see everything? Mia said softly, watching Lucy's reactions as she pieced her family's history together. It might, Lucy whispered, tears pricking her eyes. But it also feels like a chance to rewrite our story. Suddenly, a familiar figure loomed at the entrance. The door swung open, and Lucas stepped in, his presence a blend of tension and determination. The looks exchanged between Lucy, Mia, and Jake echoed their uncertainty but also their resolve. "Lucy," Lucas started, his voice carrying urgency. "I think we need to have that talk now. It's time to face what this legacy really means." Lucy took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. This was at the crossroads where answers awaited. As she looked at her friends, their unwavering support ignited a flame of courage within her. "Let us do this," she said, her voice steady. "Together." And so they stepped into the next chapter of their lives, ready to uncover the truths that had long been hidden in the shadows, united by a bond that echoed through generations. The past was calling, and as they prepared to answer, they felt the promise of a brighter future awaiting them, one built on love, trust, and the courage to face whatever lay ahead. Now, it's your turn. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Your support makes all the difference. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share. True fans understand the importance of supporting this channel through these actions.